Good morning. I'm Georgia, and this is Crocheting Chaos. I recorded a video that was supposed to go up last Monday, and honestly, it's been so long I don't even remember what I was talking about in that video. But it ended up not happening because my phone decided to hold the video hostage. I could not get it to upload to YouTube. I couldn't get it on my computer to edit it or anything. So it's been lost to the ether or my phone. It is what it is. But I'm trying to get a video up once a week. I typically film on the weekends because of my university schedule, because I am student teaching full-time. And that also doesn't leave a lot of room for crochet. So if anybody has suggestions on what they would like to see me do a video on, if I don't have any crochet stuff to share, like works that I've completed, yarn that I've bought, that type thing, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I will do my best to do the thing. But besides not having a lot of time to crochet, I tweaked my wrist up picking up a book bag that was way too heavy. I have rolling luggage for a reason. I bought it when I broke my shoulder right before the pandemic. No, wait a minute, let me back that up. I broke my shoulder literally 3 days before lockdown. Or was it 4? It was really close to lockdown. I fell over air, broke my shoulder. Actually, when I landed, my arm was up in the air, it dislocated, and when I brought it down, not thinking that, oh hey, maybe my shoulder's dislocated, is when it broke. So I broke my shoulder right before lockdown. It healed okay, but because of lockdown, I couldn't do physical therapy. And I ended up not having a whole lot of range of motion after it healed. So my doctor sent me in for an MRI, and it showed 2 tiny tears. And the doctor that he sent me to gave me the option of, oh hey, you can either try physical therapy or we can just do surgery right out. And I decided to do the surgery just because, we were still sort of in lockdown, like it was going back and forth. As far as university was concerned, we were still in lockdown. We were doing all of our classes on Zoom, which really sucked. But because of my university schedule, I decided that it was going to be too much to go to physical therapy constantly, and let's just do the surgery, because there was no guarantee that the physical therapy was going to work. So he gets in there to do the surgery, and my rotator cuff is completely destroyed. Like, he had to reattach my bicep and just do all kinds of stuff. What started out as what was going to be a simple procedure of closing 2 holes in the muscle turned into completely putting my shoulder back together. When I looked at the surgery report, there was like half a page of just the procedure list that he had to do to fix my shoulder. So if anybody knows anything about rotator cuff surgery, you know that you end up in a sling that is secured to your body where you can't move anything, because, normally a sling allows you to do this kind of thing, but it's to mobilize the shoulder or the wrist. This does not allow you to do that, and you have to sleep in it. And I'm like, there is no way that I'm going to be able to put my shoes on to go to school. There is no way that I'm going to be able to carry my book bag properly. It's not going to go over both shoulders. So I did 2 things. I bought a pair of Crocs, my first pair of Crocs ever, and now I own a bunch of Crocs because they are really comfortable. Yes, they're ugly. But gibbets make them fun, but yeah. And I bought rolling luggage to put my stuff in. And I used it off and on, like over the years, depending on how many books I have to take to uni, how many classes, that type of thing. And student teaching, even when I was long-term substituting, taking the stuff that I need for teaching and the stuff that I need for university gets really heavy because I'm taking a tablet, I'm taking my school computer, which I need to open up today, along with doing my homework. I shouldn't be filming this video. I should be being responsible and doing homework, but here we are. And whatever books I need, plus my teaching planner, which we're only in week 3 of school and it's already out of control. Let me go get that and show it to you. Okay, I'm back. This is my teaching folder at the moment, my teaching planner binder thing, and this thing is pretty heavy. I have taken it's started out as a planner. I took out the second half of the year because I'm only student teaching through January, and because I'm student teaching, I have like my syllabi in here for both classes because I'm doing a project for one and the other one is just to document my student teaching. So it's not a lot of stuff that needs to go in there for that, but where I didn't have where I wasn't getting confused like I did when I was substituting, I put all of like the worksheets and lesson plans and everything in the back of this, and it's out of control already, and it's only week 3 going into week 4. I do have a couple things I can pull out of here. That and this, I have hanging folders for that stuff. When one of my professors, early on, one of my teaching professors told us to copy and steal everything. Basically, if a teacher, stupid cats, basically this means if somebody that's come before you, like another teacher, has done a thing and it's worked really well, steal that idea. Like if they have worksheets, copy them. So every time I find worksheets sitting around in the teacher's workroom where somebody left their originals or whatever, I take them. I mean, they have them stored on their computer, but I take copies when they're sitting around where I have them in case it's something I can use later. Like, I don't know what grade I'm going to be teaching once I get my own classroom. But, you know, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel if it's already been invented. And this green file folder that's in here is stuff that I need to grade or leave comments on. But this thing's going to be unbearable by December. And I'm not sure if it's going to survive. I might have to go to 2 notebooks. One for worksheets and, well, you know, when this unit's over, I can pull those worksheets out and start over. It might be fine. It should be fine. I'm hoping it's fine. But I forgot that I had this rolling luggage because it was put in a closet and forgotten about, because university classes, as a graduate student, you only take 1 class a day. So there's not a lot to carry around. So I was carrying around a book bag that was way too heavy for my body, and not that I couldn't lift it or anything, but with the health conditions that I have, it was too much for my body. I picked it up wrong. I tweaked my wrist. I've been in and out of a wrist brace for the last 2 weeks. So that hindered crocheting. I did get one thing done, but I started on a second. This is made out of Lily Sugar and Cream, and if you know anything about sugar and cream yarn or any cotton yarn, it doesn't stretch. So I made, this is going to be a bath poof when I'm done. It's getting there. It's almost there. I've got to finish the row that I'm on, but once that's done, if I think it's big enough, it's probably going to be big enough. But if I think it's not big enough, I'm going to do one more row. But I think it's going to be fine. I don't need a massive bath poof. But I made a matching face cloth to go with this. It's upstairs in the bathroom. I'm not going to go get it. It's been used. Like, it's hanging out. But I had to stop working on this because of my wrist and the fact that cotton yarn does not stretch. And even with the wrist brace on, it was playing hell on my wrist. So that's what I accomplished. I accomplished a washcloth. I also accomplished a Mothman wing. It's going to attach like this, and I've got the first half of the second one done, and then I need to make his little feet. But I think he's going to be really cute. I used the Just Yarn Teddy from Premier that Dollar Tree carries to do the fuzzy part on the top of the wing here. I mean, it's black yarn. It's hard to see on camera, but it's the same fuzzy yarn that I use through here. So I may get him finished this week. I'm hoping. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm just hoping. I also, this, provided I have time after I'm done editing this video and I do my homework, I will get this finished. Let me get a stitch marker where I don't pull this out, because I will pull this out. I am working on the genderqueer pride flag and a chevron, and this is the first time I've ever done a chevron, and it took me quite a longer than it should have to get the hang of it. And I think part of it was the size of the hook that I was using, and I don't know, it could have just been me. But I'm making it bigger than what the pattern calls for, because it's only supposed to be half the size and I wanted it bigger. And this is what's happening with it. It's almost there. 1, 2, 3. I'm finishing row 4, so I'm doing 7 rows, so it's almost there. Now, in order to make this, I did have to go buy some yarn. So we're back to 0 days with that yarn. I mentioned that I would probably end up buying some of the Karen anniversary cakes. I'm just not thrilled with them this year. Like, the recycled colors from, I think, the cinnamon roll cakes, maybe some other lines, but I'm just not that thrilled. But I did have to go and buy some Crafter's Secret white yarn. I thought that I had white, and I had ended up buying off-white. And I realized that once I started working it up that it wasn't white. So I now have white and off-white in this. While I was there, I also picked up pink and baby blue, because I didn't have those colors, and I do like working with this yarn. Now, something that I did discover while making this is that, you know, I picked up the white, and I had the green. The purple that I have, it's a dark purple, and like, it is not the shade of purple that is needed for this flag. It is a deep eggplantish type purple. And I went online and I looked, and they don't have a more lilac purple. So I already had the green and the white done in the Crafter's Secret. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, that's a lot of work just to take out and find a different yarn. And I don't like mixing yarn, because sometimes it's rarely going to be an exact match, and that bugs me. But I did have this. This is the Big Twist Living yarn, and it is an exact match for Crafter Secret, which makes me really happy. Well, if it's not an exact match, it's like a 98-99% match. But I like feeling it and working with it, I can't tell the difference. So that made me really happy. But I'm just like, it's for me, it's a wall hanging, it's whatever. Like, I'm not taking this apart. I've been wanting to make this, so I was just gonna go with what I had, and this worked out. So that is what I have accomplished over the last 2 weeks. Not a lot. I have also put together 2 project bags, and this upset me last night when I was putting this one together. This is for the Gemini jumper, and I started this last fall, and I had 11, 12 granny squares put together for it. And when I started this, it was before I lost weight. So the squares are too big. I have to start over. I'm not surprised. And taking this apart is not going to be easy because I've already weaved in my ends and they've been blocked. So I'm going to find something else to do with these squares. And I may have an idea just sitting here playing with them. 1, 2. I may actually have enough to make a book sleeve already. If not, I'll just need a few more. That's what I'm going to do. These are going to be turned into a book sleeve. Problem solved. I'm not taking them apart. Maybe I'll pair them with another color. So I have to make my squares a size smaller. It is what it is. But I'm using Yarn Art Jeans. It's a size 2, so this is definitely going to be a fall weight sweater, jumper, whatever you want to call it. But that was annoying. So in my project bag, I've got 3 yarns that I am making it out of, and that I'm making the squares out of, because like half of it's squares, the other half is solid, and I am making it out of the Age Under flag colors. Originally I was just going to do the regular pride flag because that was the picture that I seen of it that I fell in love with, but then I decided, nah, I'm going to do the Age Under pride flag. I mean, I make everything. I've been making everything that, like, I'm making quite a few things out of the genderqueer flag colors. So, I thought that I would change that. The other thing that I've got a project bag put together with, and this one I'm going to be taking to uni to work on during lectures, is for the Ghosttober cardigan. I originally bought this off of eBay. Or not eBay, oh my god, Etsy. They both start with E. And she's no longer selling on Etsy. A lot of people aren't selling on Etsy anymore. You have to go to her website. So the link is down below. One of my offspring wants a version of this cardigan with glow-in-the-dark skulls. So I have the DIY Glow Cozy from Lion brand that I'm going to use for this. And you know what? This is the cozy. I am wondering if I bought a bunch of this in like different types. Let me see if I have the right colors. because that's not going to match any yarn that I have. But this is nothing but glow in the dark yarns. That's the cozy glow. That's what I want. I want the glow because this is going to match. Oh my God, Gordo. This is going to match the black yarn. There we go. Let me change that out. Something on that one too. I need to wash some of these. They've been sitting around for a bit and they have something on them. I hate washing yarn, but not the first time it's happened, won't be the last. Okay, those two are good. But like I also have it in the blue and the green. And these two skeins should be enough to do all the skulls that I need to for this. I made myself one of these cardigans, and I have to take it apart and pull some of the squares off and make it smaller. At least I hope that will take care of the problem and not have to redo it where I have to make the squares smaller, because that will annoy me. Or I'll just wear a huge oversized cardigan. I mean, either works. But this will be going with me to class to work on. Oh, Gordon, I picked up this crochet book to make 3D flowers out of, like where you can make bouquets of flowers or put them in a vase and just decorate. But wouldn't it be cool to like make a dozen red roses as a gift for somebody? Or they don't even have to be red. They can be like, if you've got one of those friends that's like gothic or whatever, you can do black ones. But it's got different rose patterns in here for both buds and open flowers. It's got sunflowers, it's got lilies, it's just got all kinds of cool stuff in it. And I've been looking for one of these books where I could do this, and I finally found one. So that's cool. I also picked up some patterns off of Etsy. I will share those here and put the links down below. I have an app on my phone that pays you for playing app games. And I spend a little bit of time every week, you know, like a few minutes before bed while I'm waiting for my meds to kick in. Or if I'm stuck in the car, like playing games, because it's an easy thing to do. And I earned enough for a $25 gift certificate or a gift card, and I bought $25 worth of patterns from Etsy with it. Some of these patterns I picked out because I need to make, well, I don't need to make, I committed to it, so I do need to make some fabulous prizes for some of the students that I'm working with. They're not my students, they're really my mentor teacher students, our students. I'll call them our students. For an assignment that they're going to be doing, and it's a whole thing to explain, but I'm not going to go into it. But the two I think it's the two best, like it'll be one project from each class unless there's a tie, but it's going to be determined by the winners of who does the best project is going to be determined by the rest of the class. So theoretically there could be a tie, but typically she gives out, my mentor teacher gives out little prizes, you know, like normally whatever's found at the dollar store that amuses her, gives out prizes to who did the best, and I offered to crochet some stuff. I'm probably going to do some bookmarks, but I also want to make some like small stuffed animals like people would make, you know, that take like 20 minutes to make, you know, for like market makes or whatever. But I want to put together like a bunch of stuff where they have choices, and I can, when I leave, I can always leave this stuff with her to use, like for another time in class. And I think this is something that I'm going to be doing in my own classroom for things. I think it's a cool motivator, and like by making the things yourself, like the kids, and I feel bad like calling 11th graders kids, but they are. I try to use the word student where it doesn't sound so I don't know, where they don't sound like, when you see kids you think of like preteens, but these are teenagers, so maybe students. This is just a weird semantic thing with me because words have meaning, and I am an English major, and I really think about how to use words. It's a me thing, but by hand making them things, it shows them that you're investing time in them, and I think they get that. So that's what I'm going to be doing this next week, because yeah, like not this week but next week they have their project that has to be done, so I need to decide what I'm going to do. I might make some little loaf cats. Those work up pretty quick. I'm going to make some dragon bookmarks, which don't work up quite as quick. They're a little weird. I might make some other bookmarks, but I was thinking about making some glow-in-the-dark ghosts just because Halloween's coming up. I'll come up with stuff, but these are decisions that I need to make and start working on. So that's why I picked up some of the patterns that I did. The hat pattern I want for myself because I constantly have backup in my right ear, because allergies, and sometimes just even if it's warm out, like wind blowing in there really hurts. So I want a lightweight hat to wear, and I think that mesh hat would be perfect. I'll probably end up making it out of bamboo. I don't know. I'm thinking about using this black kobu that I have over here in this yarn pile. So yeah, that's what I've got going on, and I'm going to see if I can get this video uploaded now. Wish me luck. I do have to edit it because I accidentally broke it into 2 pieces when I hit pause, or my cat did, because my cat did come up here. Gordon did come up here and was being orange, and orange cats are a force of nature. So that's happening. I am also going to, I've got so much yarn and so many books to put away. I need to get to that this week. I also need to log the books that I recently bought into my app where I don't buy 2 copies, because I just took a book that I bought a duplicate of to my mentor teacher. I'm like, do you want this? Do you want it for your classroom? Should I put it in the school's little free library? And she's like, no, I want this one. I'm like, okay, because when I buy duplicate books, I just give them away. It's what I do. And somebody got some duplicate crochet books once from me that I stuffed in a little free library, and they were brand new, and I'm sure whoever took them is giving them a wonderful home. So with that, I will see you next time. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I'm not your mother. I can't tell you what to do. But if you hang out here, you know, do the thing. It would be most appreciated. And with that, I hope to see you next week. And I hope to have some of the projects done for the kids' fabulous prizes.